So the Decepticons. Now, the thing is, it's almost hard to talk about the Decepticons from the movie because they were there, but they were basically non-existent. I actually really liked Barricade a lot. I know people say this all the time, and it's not anything new, but I love the idea of having a Decepticon be a police car because you don't really get more deceptive than that. And I like the fact that we got a little bit of personality from him with the whole, you know, are you username ladiesman217 in his first encounter with Sam. I really liked that. I liked Barricade. Scorponok, I loved Scorponok. I thought he was awesome. I loved the way he was animated. I loved the way that he fought the soldiers. He was just so cool to me. I am kind of annoyed that basically every single thing I see with Michael Bay talking about Scorponok, for some reason he calls him Scorponox. That's kind of weird and annoying. But it's Michael Bay, so what are you gonna do? I also really, really liked Frenzy. He is the probably most interesting Decepticon to me. He has the most personality. You see him just do the most interesting stuff because he does more than just breaking things. I have to say though, there is no way that he's that inconspicuous. There were points in the movie where he was like walking in front of people and they were looking at him and they didn't notice that he was a giant robot. So, whatever. I also liked his little bits of English where he was like, Witwicky, Witwicky, and, you know, Megatron melting. I think he says that at one point. So I liked Frenzy. The other minor Decepticons, it's hard to comment on them because they really didn't do anything. Starscream for me was okay. He didn't really get to do much or say much. We got a nice, tiny little tidbit of tension between him and Megatron when Megatron's like, you're stupid. I have always wondered, there's this scene where Starscream is fighting other F-22s and then kind of becomes one of them so they can't tell which plane he is. And right after that, the F-22 starts shooting at Megatron, and I know that this has been discussed probably to no end, but I have always wondered if Starscream is one of those F-22s. It'll be interesting to see if we get to see anything with that with Revenge of the Fallen. Probably not, but it'd be nice. As for the other Decepticons, it's really hard to make any really comment on them. They didn't really do much. I don't know if it's supposed to be like this or not, but there's a nice little nod to the G1 movie with Jazz stopping Brawl in a similar way that Cup stopped Blitzwing in the one of the opening fights. So that's kind of nice. But Megatron. Okay, Megatron for me, I didn't like his design going in at all. He just looked like a mechanical lion to me. I don't know why, but I think it's because he had all those like crazy sharp teeth and he had crazy face things everywhere, and I'm pretty sure at one point he like roared or something. He was just like a big mechanical lion thing. Now, there's nothing about Megatron's personality that I just really didn't like, but he didn't really quite come off as that cool to me. I mean, he was cool enough. He was, you know, this giant robot who was the biggest one in the movie that we had seen so far. And he was really doing a number on Prime, but I just didn't think that he was that awesome. I wanted to be like, wow, Megatron, whoa, so cool, but I just didn't really feel it. So overall, when I first saw the movie, I actually really liked a lot of the characters. I thought they were really cool. And after watching the movie, like, today, I don't like the characters quite as much. Bumblebee is probably my favorite take on the characters in the movie. Now, probably my true opinion on how they are in the movie is really my first opinions on them, so overall, they're really good. Now, the human characters. I'm a big Shia LaBeouf fan, so I thought Shia LaBeouf was typical Shia LaBeouf. He was very funny. I really liked his acting. He ran around saying no, 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 just as he would in any other film. So Shia LaBeouf was Shia LaBeouf. He wasn't amazing Shia LaBeouf, he wasn't horrible Shia LaBeouf, he was Shia LaBeouf. Now, Megan Fox. This is probably because I'm not a dude, but I did not like her. I thought her acting was pretty bad. I didn't really mind her part in the story of her being like the romantic interest, but I just didn't think she played it off that well, and it's pretty obvious that she was just there for eye candy. And for girls, that's not really something that we're interested in. So I was not a big fan of Megan Fox. The military characters, like Tyrese Gibson and Josh Duhamel, I think his last name is, I thought that their acting was pretty solid, and I actually really enjoyed the parts with the military guys in it. It's interesting because in the handy dandy book, after the battle with Scorponok, the Hispanic soldier who we see get injured does die, and I thought it was interesting that they did not have that scene in the movie, but they showed him getting hurt, and I'm pretty sure that there was a scene with him talking to Josh Duhamel's character, like right before he dies, in the trailer, so I didn't really understand why that wasn't in the movie, and I was sure that that was going to be in the IMAX version that kind of had the deleted scenes, but it didn't, so I thought that was kind of weird they took that out. Now, the hacker characters, I did not like them at all. I thought they were pretty much unnecessary. I didn't really think they were that funny. I thought they just added more humans to the story that I didn't really want to see, so I didn't like them very much. And Sector 7, I didn't really like Sector 7 that much at all. The Sector 7 guys really just didn't do anything for me. They were kind of just more annoying buttheads than anything. And they inspired the scene that I liked the least in the movie, which would be Bumblebee like peeing on one of them. That I cringed when I saw that. I was like, this is not funny. So yeah. I really like the parents though. I know the parents, some people like really don't like them. I thought the parents were hilarious. Now the movie in itself, I thought was really, really solid. Like I said, when I first saw the movie, I loved it. But there was little things that I just picked up that I thought were kind of odd. The way they used sound sometimes, like sound cues, was just odd. It was one of those things where I couldn't tell if they were being serious or if they were being funny. The very first point, and the one that I remember the most, is at the beginning when Shia LaBeouf is talking about getting his car, he asks the teacher what grade he got on his assignment, and the teacher says, a B-. And you just hear this, like, it's complete silence, and Shia LaBeouf kind of pauses and puts his arms down, and as he's doing that, this music's like, and there's this, like, weird sound cue, and the same thing happens when they're talking to Bernie Mac's character at the old car lot, and things like that. I was just like, this is making this way more dramatic than it needs to be, so I couldn't tell if they were being funny or if it was for serious. The animation in this film is just absolutely amazing. I love the animation in this. And a funny note, I am actually starting next year going to be an animation student, so I was completely enthralled with how awesome the animation was in this. And interestingly enough, the fall after the movie came out, I went to Vision Fest, which was an animation festival at a local college, and the keynote speaker was actually Rick O'Connor, who is a lead animator for Industrial Light and Magic, who did Transformers. And he was one of the lead animators for Transformers, and I was just like, oh my gosh, not only am I in the same room as an actual animator, I'm in the same room as someone who animated Optimus Prime, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I got to talk to him a little bit, and it was very, very cool. He actually had a couple funny stories about Michael Bay, and I'm not going to share right now, but he was just a really cool guy, and that was an awesome experience for me. So overall, I actually really liked the movie. Even though I have some gripes about it, I actually like it a lot. So that's my thoughts for the first Transformers movie. I'll be back in another video for my thoughts on the upcoming Revenge of the Fallen. So, see you then.